Alright guys, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning here on La Palma, and I thought I'd talk to you guys a little bit about my morning routine. It's changed a bit over time. I'll tell you a little bit about how I do it right now, and my best tips for optimizing your morning routine, because it's really important to get off to a good start, you know. If you have a bad morning, it can sort of domino affect the rest of your day, right? Like your whole day just turns out to be a mess if you don't have a nice morning. So let's get into it. Let's talk about morning routines and how to start your day in the best way possible. Alright, so first of all, a good morning always starts out with a good night's sleep, right? I mean, that one's obvious. You need to have a good night's sleep, and usually that means getting to bed early enough. That's like the key. If you go to bed late, then it just doesn't work, and you have to be consistent with the time you go to bed. So go to bed early enough so that you can wake up at the time that you prefer, well slept, well rested. Waking up by yourself without an alarm clock. So anyway, I just had a nice 9.5 hour sleep, I think. I really prefer 10.5 hours, but sometimes it's difficult to get that. Seemed fine today though, 9.5 hours. I woke up, and the first thing I did, I have like a mask, because it's a bit of like there's a light coming in during the night, etc., from the nearby factory, and I also have earplugs because there's a lot of people here. So the first thing I do is I wake up, I realize I'm awake. Actually, you know, the first thing I do is actually just to turn over again and just go back to sleep. But that happens a few times during the night, right? You just turn over and go back to sleep, and then in the morning I realize at a certain point that I'm not gonna fall back to sleep again. It's morning. I'm awake now. So what I'll do is that I'll just lie there for a little while, usually on my back, and I'll just like think about nice things. I don't know, just like my mind is just thinking about maybe stuff that I was dreaming about, or what I'm gonna do for the day, or whatever, just relaxed thinking. Then I take off the mask, take out the earplugs, and I just allow myself a little bit of time to just adjust to the light before I open my eyes, the sounds, and just enjoy that moment. A lot of people, they just jump out of bed, right? Because they have to go to work, their alarm clock is ringing, out of bed, straight out, to work, and that's really not a nice way to start off the day. I think everyone would agree with that. Having that sort of at least 5 minutes in bed after waking up, just to sort of okay, it's time to start the day, kind of. It's really, really valuable for me. I like to do as much as 20 minutes to half an hour sometimes, just lying there, Okay, then I get out of bed, put my clothes on, and I'll tell you what I do right now, like here on Canary Islands. I get up, it's pretty cold, so I just put on all my clothes, and then I go take a shit, basically. I get out of the caravan. I'm living in a caravan. It's pretty nice. Go up to the toilets. There's like communal toilets, and then I take a big shit in the morning, and it's like amazing. I love it. Then I look around a little bit, just like look at the morning, look at the sun coming up behind the mountain, looking at how the weather looks, just taking it in easy, not really talking to anyone at that point. I don't want to have conversations at this point. Then I go back to my caravan, and here I am right now making a video. Usually what I'll do is I'll sit down on the computer and I'll just surf the internet. I'm not going to look at videos. I'm not going to sort of communicate. I'm certainly not going to work. I'm just looking at something I'm interested in. Maybe I'm researching like ankle mobility, which is what I'm doing nowadays, or just reading about something cool on the net, just like really relaxed, maybe for half an hour, 45 minutes. And then I feel the need to go have breakfast. And actually that reminds me that I also typically drink a little bit of water when I wake up, and I haven't done that today. I forgot. I usually do it just out of bed, like before I go take a shit. I have a little bit of water, as much as I feel like. I get a little bit dehydrated during the night, so it's nice, like first thing in the morning, have a bit of water. It could be It depends on the climate, it depends on you, depends on your diet. But for me now, I might have as much as 400 milliliters. I don't know, something like that. And yeah, as I said, at that point, after sitting on the computer for a little while, I get hungry and I go eat breakfast. And just to finish that off, then I sit down and I eat breakfast in the sunlight. I just get the morning sun and enjoy breakfast, and then I start my day basically. Having some time to just wake up. You don't necessarily need that time that I was talking about when I'm on the computer, but you certainly do need that little bit of time in bed before you get up, and you certainly need that little bit of time just going to the toilet, looking at the weather, breathing, just having some water. Just if you don't have at least that sort of half hour where you don't have to like do something, you're just like taking in the fact that you're awake, I think that can sort of negatively affect your day. It sort of puts you in a stressful mode right away from the get-go. We have a nervous system that's divided into two parts. It's the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. And the sympathetic nervous system is the fight or flight, so to speak, and the parasympathetic is the rest and digest, they call it. When you're stressed, when you're like, I need to get somewhere, I need to do something, bam, that kind of thing, you get into that sympathetic mode. And that's good. It's not bad or anything, but it's bad if it happens all the time and if it happens at the wrong times, right? So in the morning, again, you want to ease into the day. And exercising in the morning as well, for me at least, in my experience, not really the best. At least if I am going to do that, I'm going to at least give myself that half an hour, or maybe as much as an hour, including some eating maybe, before I get out. Getting right out of bed and right out into a run or something like that, probably not the best idea. You want to, it just makes perfect sense if you think about it. You want to give yourself that time to just ease into the day, because that's what's going to set you up for a day of consciously choosing what you do when you do it. If you get out of bed and immediately get into a reactive mode, reactive mode means like you're just reacting to circumstances. You're just like, oh shit, the alarm is going off, I gotta get up. Oh shit, I gotta get to work. Oh, gotta have breakfast. Someone tells you something and you're just like reacting to it, instead of being like consciously aware and choosing how to do what you do. So you want to wake up and give yourself that little bit of time to just like take a breath, take stock, so to speak, get perspective on the day, on yourself, how you're feeling, what you're gonna do, and then you initiate your day, then you get started, and then for the next 6 to 8 hours or something like that, right, that's when you're in that action mode, do mode. You're training, you're working, you're getting stuff done, and then of course the evening comes around, it's time to chill again. So anyway, that's my little talk about morning routines. I typically have a very similar morning routine wherever I am. After easing into the day, I have a little bit of a period where I read or go on the computer, and then I have breakfast. But the key takeaway here is that I take it easy. Basically, I allow myself to just like relax into the day rather than just bam, bam, bam. And of course, there's a lot of people probably that are gonna say like, but I gotta work, I gotta go to work, I have a job like that, I have a family to feed, and I understand that, but you gotta realize it's all about priorities. There are people out there who have great slow mornings and they're still hyper productive, they're still making a lot of money, they're still successful, right? In fact, I would argue that probably the most successful people in the world, both monetarily speaking and otherwise, in terms of happiness, are probably the ones that are very conscious about how they live their lives. They're very conscious, they're very aware of why they're doing something and why they're not doing something. I don't think the most successful people in the world just like wake up to an alarm clock and just like rush off to work. Probably not. They're probably very conscious about exactly how they proceed in the morning. And so it is possible. So it's a matter of prioritizing your health, prioritizing your happiness, but especially in this area, health really. Taking care of your body, getting enough sleep. You're not wasting time actually. when you're waking up like that, when you're taking it slow in the morning. A lot of people would say like, oh, but that's such a waste of time and I gotta get going. Well, okay, you gotta get going, and then you work for like 8 hours, whatever. I would argue that if you get a good night's sleep and you get a nice easy start of the day, once you start working, even if you're just working for like 6 hours rather than 8 hours, I bet you'll get more done in those 6 hours than in the whole 8-hour day with less sleep and a stressful morning, right? Because just taking that time to relax and to ease into the day actually allows you to be more productive later on. So I hope that makes sense to you. I have a series of videos called the Optimal Sleep Series. You can check out the playlist here. I haven't made that many videos in that series yet, but there's lots more to come for sure as I get into that topic more. Right now I'm just enjoying some time here in La Palma. The sun is shining usually every day. I'm getting some good running in. By the way, of course, check out my running channel, The Lone Trail, where I talk about training and exercise and running particularly. Alright, tell me in the comments how your morning routine goes. What do you do in the morning? How do you do it? What do you prefer? Tell me all about it. Let's talk about it. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this in the morning, then I wish you a great day. Ease into it, then get to work and get it done, and then relax again in the evening. That's my strategy. That's my recipe for success, happiness, health. Alright, see you around.